Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. For 35 years, New Life has been transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there, welcome to New Life Live, and it's not just me here in my studio in Indianapolis. It's Becky Brown is joining me here. Becky, good to see you, president of New Life, and we love Becky doing such a great job. We prayed for her today in devotionals that she'd continue to do such a great job.
Great.
And then Dr. Sheri Keffer is there in California, and Sheri, good to see you.
Great to be with you too. I thought me and Becky sounds a little rhymey there.
There you go.
Well, listen, I have some exciting news, Steve.
What is it? What is it?
It's very exciting. So the National Religious Broadcasters, or NRB, some of you are watching there right now. They have awarded you the 2024 Radio Impact Award.
I heard that.
It's pretty amazing. And you know,
wow.
the award is about a person who is a pioneer in this area. So let me tell you, some of the things that they said about it is that Steve shares often that when a person accepts Christ, they're delivered from the wrath of hell, but they aren't instantly delivered into character.
Right.
And building character takes work. You have led the way because of your vulnerability in sharing your past mistakes and current struggles on the radio program. I know that my life has been changed because of your willingness to step out and to speak truth where people want to hide things. And it's just pretty amazing. They also said that you demonstrate a unique vulnerability by sharing your own mistake, including paying for an abortion, as well as demonstrating that you practice what you preach. You know, I think that you have told your story so often that some people may think that it doesn't, you know, like it's like, wow, I can't believe that he actually did that. Look at you now. And look what God has done in your life and how he has blessed so many people because of your willingness to be vulnerable and to share, because then others can know that. And this award, I mean, think about radio is such a personal medium, and the fact that, you know, Radio Impact Award, you're changing people's lives because you are leading the way. And here we are celebrating 35 years of your wisdom. And so we are celebrating you today, Steve.
Thank you for that. And, you know, here's what I think is the big message of my life. Like, Women of Faith was a phenomenon, 5 million women. Did God look down on earth and say, let's pick the guy who's the most sensitive to women and under... No. And so the message is God uses people, unlikely people like Gideon to lead an army. And that's that if you think that you're not qualified, I'm not qualified to do anything that I've ever done. And God has said, would you do it?
Yeah.
And I just said, okay,
Right.
let's do it. But that really, to me, is the biggest message, that the brokenness that has occurred in my life, it didn't stop God from using me. And a lot of people think they've gone too... I thought that after the abortion, I thought, I've gone too far, I've sinned too much, I can't be forgiven for this, and that wasn't true. But speaking of the abortion, 2 weeks ago, I went to Grand Rapids to speak at a fundraiser that raised $750,000 in one night. But before that, I went earlier, and I went to an abortion clinic where 70,000 babies had been killed.
Oh, my goodness.
I went into the room where the old machinery had been used, and I got to tell you, it was so difficult. It was so hard, and I feel for every one of those mothers that somehow walked out of there and had to somehow figure out, how do I live with this, justify this, and all. It is really phenomenal. And the person that did those abortions, there was a storm, and all the electricity went out. He had a heart attack. They couldn't get help, and he died. And they don't do the abortions there anymore. All right.
It had become very apparent that some of the things I was involved with were taking over my life.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. It's just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. New Life's Every Man's Battle Workshop can help.
After 7 years, just one weekend, a completely changed man.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Workshop.
He said, I think this is something that every man should go to. Married, dating, it was definitely life-changing.
Now the workshop is coming to Dallas, Texas, December 1st through the 3rd. Don't wait for him to call. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com.
I just can't say enough of what New Life has done for our marriage.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Dr. Sheri Keffer, her book, Intimate Deception. What a game changer that has been for so many, many women. Men too, because it goes both ways. And I just think it's important that people know if you've been betrayed and you feel like there's no hope for you, the relationship, whatever, there's hope. There's hope for healing. No, I don't know what's going to happen with your relationship or the person you're attached to. But what a sad thing if somebody betrays you and then you carry that hurt and bitterness, shame, all that stuff that comes with it. You carry that the rest of your life. You need to get that real estate resolved. And Sheri, what do you think is maybe one of the biggest things that needs to happen when a person has been deceived and the intimacy betrayed? What is something they could start to do?
Yeah, well, I think the thing that befuddles me the most, that I still don't totally understand, even though I'm a partner, is that there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people that have experienced sexual betrayal. And the impact, as you mentioned, Steve, the shame makes betrayed partners, whether they're males or females, want to hide. They pull back in, and they think about the one who's betrayed them, and they say, well, you need to go get help. But what they don't realize often is that the betrayed partner, has been impacted many times to a point of post-traumatic stress. My research showed 3 out of 4 women had symptoms of post-traumatic stress, just like people in the military that are, out there and fighting. We watch that every day. But so it's that they need to get on their own gurney, and they need to come in and get help for themselves. They need to own their own healing because nobody can do it for them.
Yeah.
So that's the big aha is, please, if this is you, don't wait. We have resources here for you at New Life. We want to help you heal. You don't have to heal broken like I did and wander way too long. You can heal, and not only heal yourself, you can figure out what you need to stop the acting out that's going on. And that's powerful for your family. So it does start with us, betrayed partners, to get the healing. Not that they wanted it to happen to us. It's not our fault, but we just have to take responsibility to get our healing and to stop the crazy making that's going on in our relationship.
I spoke at this conference, and a woman came up to me afterwards, and she had been in her own recovery program by herself for 10 years. And she was still there, and she just sees all of the help that's available. And she says, how sad that I did this on my own. If I had just reached out, I wouldn't just have made it to this point, but I'd be a different person at this point. And that's what we want to see. You get comfort and you get companionship and support, but you also get wisdom and insight. And anybody want to make a gift to New Life? We've been giving away Henry's book, Trust. We'll do Intimate Deception too if you're hearing us talk here, and that's really what you're more interested in. We'll make that gift to you. If you want to join us on the program, 1-800-229-3000. I have to mention another thing here. There are 2 workshops left in 2023. One is the Emotional Freedom Workshop. Dr. Jackie Mack Harris, Chris Williams, and myself do this. And what a great thing to get rid of, before you go into 2024, the paralyzing fear and anxiety, the incapacitating bitterness, anger, resentment, or just the depression and despair will help you do that. Now, how do we know? We will help you because we have stories. You know, hope always has a resume, or it's just wishing, or it's false hope. But we have stories of people that have come and everything changed. And you could do that, and it's online. You don't have to travel anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere. And that's going to take place December the 2nd.
You know, Steve, I always think about the people who are listening, and I see some of you. We were just at our Restore workshop this past weekend and met some of you who listen on a regular basis, and you know that it makes such a difference when you are together, like we were just talking about, that connection, but also learning. Yeah. And so emotional freedom, that's what you want. We want you to be free of the things that are holding you back. We want to get you connected with groups of people who can help you continue on your journey. And, you know, Chris and Jackie and yourself, we're just like a quote a minute. We're writing down stuff because it's so much valuable information that will make a difference in your life. You need to get some healing. You can call us and we'll get you connected. It's online. It's the easiest thing that you can do.
Yeah. So a lot of these things that we look at, we think, oh, well, that's caused by a spiritual problem.
Right.
Well, actually, it has a spiritual, you could say, quote unquote, cure. Mm. But the problem could have been something that happened to us. It could be a biological predisposition. All those things. The symptoms are usually psychological symptoms that we see. And the cure, or the treatment, must always be a spiritual treatment. And when that happens, transformation occurs. I was just reading last night a book by a guy named Dick B. He is the son of Dr. Bob, who was Bill W.'s co-founder of AA. And he went on and on about the Christ-centered faith of his father. Mm. And talked about a guy would come to his dad and say, I need help with my alcohol problem. He said, okay, you need a lift, right? Yes. Okay, get on your knees then. Mm. And he would bring that guy to Christ, get him to see the need for Jesus, not some nebulous God. And it was over the years that they tried to make it more open to people. Maybe they thought God hated them or whatever. But the incredible results of the people in the original AA meetings, they got sober and stayed sober because they had accepted Christ, and it was part of their Christian walk that they were not going to drink anymore.
It's amazing.
And a lot of people have no idea about that, and other people don't want to know about that. But Life Recovery, which we do here, it isn't about trying to cram the Bible into recovery. No, it's bringing recovery, right? All right, let's go to Aaron, William Grove, Pennsylvania. I cannot tell you how many calls we are getting from Pennsylvania.
I love it.
Not because they're in worse shape than any other part of the world. Absolutely
they just
not.
Want to talk to
they're
us.
just reaching out for help. Aaron, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing okay. And how could we help you?
So, I have a friend who died in 2021 via cancer. And this girl who's from New York, I know her from the blind community. I'm blind. And she disrespected him, and I want to know how to forgive her. I want to know what the best way is to forgive her, because she disrespected my friend in a very bad way, basically saying that he's a myth, he didn't exist. He never did anything for anyone, and that's not true. He actually did a lot for people. He's actually involved in the Perkins School for the Blind.
So for a couple of years now, you've it's just been hard for you to let that go, and you want to know.
I've been trying to avoid her at all costs, but she just keeps on coming back around and evading my blocks and everything else. So I want to know how to forgive her.
Okay. Well, Sheri, what do you think might be helpful here?
So, Aaron, I'm really sorry. I'm brokenhearted, first off, that you lost a very, very dear friend.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who you loved, somebody who you trusted, somebody who you probably shared your heart with.
Mm-hmm.
And how confusing it is to have somebody talking negatively about him, almost as if they're trying to remove his honor. The honor that he held in this world while the Lord had him here. This person that he was with, I'm just wondering, was it a former girlfriend or a friend? Like,
No.
So can you just?
It was a person.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're doing good. I just want to know just another sentence about her, right? So.
Yeah, it's a girl. She's from the blind community. We're a big community of blind people that talk online.
Okay.
And everybody online knew him. He was a big deal in the blind community. You know, he did a lot of stuff for people. He, gave money to people when he could. Just did a lot of things. And the fact that it just bothers me. I don't know.
Well, it's bothersome. Can we join in that with you? It's bothersome that somebody would be talking smack, wrong, misinformation about somebody who changed your life and so many people's lives. But this is the thing that is so hard. And I can relate to you, Aaron, in a very different way, not a same story. But there are some people in this world that have broken wings. It's like they're birds with broken wings, and instead of flying and living life freely and doing what they do well, like your friend, it's like with broken wings, they just crawl around on earth. They're not living out their purpose. Mm-hmm. And so what happens with people with broken wings is they're living beneath their calling. They're living, and so they can get jealous of people that are flying high. They can say bad things about people because they're trying to have them get on the ground with them, even though your friend's gone. But there's nothing you can do to control what she's saying. The truth is, people like you, Aaron, know that he was a good guy. But she's got a part of your heart right now. She's holding you hostage in a cage of unforgiveness because of her broken wings.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're, like Steve opened up the show today and was talking about how we give people landscape. We give them landscape. We give them parts of us through resentment, through heartache. We can't control her. That's the thing. You can't control what somebody says. I wish I could control what some people say. I wish I could stick socks in people's mouth. Sometimes I wish I could stick a sock in my mouth, right? I mean, but it's what is keeping you from letting her toxicity?
But every time I talk to her, she just starts talking smack about him. And I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, so I just wouldn't be talking with her anymore. Literally wouldn't.
And then, Aaron, going back to what you said, Sheri, you got to find a way to let it go.
Right.
And because you've been hurt. You're in the throes of grief as well as being hurt. So it's wise for you to block and to not have the conversations, but at the same time, that release of bitterness, of resentment is going to heal you so that this other person doesn't have a hold on you anymore.
So when we come back, I want to talk to you about a concept that I've called creative spiritual dismissiveness. And I hope that it might be of help to you. But also, I think it might be of help to other folks, because you are not alone in people holding on to things that they can do nothing about, and the thing starts to deteriorate the soul. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. A lot of people are in, you could literally say, in bondage from past trauma that has created an emotional web that they don't understand, and it prevents them from being free. A person that loses their temper regularly is not emotionally free. Someone who has anxiety just to get in the car and leave the house is not emotionally free. And walking around with the shame from a childhood or even a bad relationship as an adult, that is not emotional freedom, and we can help you get there.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Online Workshop is Saturday, December 2nd. Steve Arterburn, Chris Williams, and Dr. Jackie McHarris will present information on the power of our emotions, procrastination, guilt and shame, and more. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or register online at newlife.com.
I have given to New Life regularly because I have so many people that I am referring to New Life who so benefit from the ministry. I just can't imagine what would happen in my area if New Life wasn't available to us.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of all 8 100-day devotionals, including 100 Days of Prayer, 100 Days of Freedom from Depression, and 100 Days of Peace. There are also ongoing benefits like the monthly Club New Life CD or download, access to the Club New Life video library, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, discounts on workshops, and quarterly online meetings with Steve. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, Steve Arterburn here, and we're talking with Aaron, and I want to talk to you about this creative, spiritual dismissiveness. So yesterday I was talking to this attorney, and this attorney didn't really want to listen to me. And I couldn't even finish what I was saying, and so you get this feeling that, well, you're being dismissed, or she's dismissive. So what does that mean? It means I'm not very important. I'm not important enough to be listened to, okay, or to be dealt with equally or whatever. So when I hear what this person is doing with Aaron, talking about this other person, I want Aaron, for the sake of her spiritual soul, to be dismissive in her heart of this person. Yes, she's loved by God. Yes, there's great potential, but she's doing hurtful things. And so we have a concept of like walking things out of the corral of our mind, you know. And this person, in the midst of all the stallions in your mind, is a donkey that needs to be separated, open the corral door, walk her out, and let her go, because she shouldn't be allowed to impact you, to influence you. And then you really have to come to a place of surrender and give her up. Lord, I can't change her. I can block her. I can refuse to respond. I can't change her, God. So I'm going to turn her over to you. And just as you've forgiven me, I'm going to grieve all this that she's done. I'm going to try to accept her as a broken person, not a bad person, but broken. I'm going to try to embrace the fact that you love her, and I'm going to forgive her. And I'm going to get this out of my mind. That's the way we can be free of someone like her who is really doing a lot of destructive stuff there.
Aaron, can I share one more thing with you too? And I think I've learned this through just getting deeper into conversations with those of us with broken wings. As I often say on the radio, Aaron, all behavior is purposeful. That doesn't mean it's kind, helpful, good, edifying, and it can even cause serious harm. But as I've worked with couples where there's been sexual betrayal, where somebody has been acting out and has chosen to do some things that basically has blown up another person's heart. They've had affairs, multiple affairs, they've looked at pornography, they've done things that would curl your toes, right? In that action out of their brokenness, and I'm not making excuses for it. I'm saying as I've done trauma work with those who act out sexually, you know what I've discovered so often? They too have broken wings. They were molested when they were 9, or they were beat up by their dad and told that they'd never amount to anything. They might have been molested by a kid down the street for 10 years. Like there's these stories that they've never uttered to anybody else, but those stories, the harm, the trauma, is causing trauma to someone else. And so I imagine that this woman with broken wings, because she's saying what she's saying about a man who's highly esteemed, I would wonder about her. I would wonder if she had a father that was very abusive and she doesn't know how to take in the goodness of a man. And now that you're blocking her and she's trying to get to you, she might have abandonment issues. She might have so much going on, Aaron. And so to have some empathy or understanding or curiosity about what drives people's bad behaviors helps us in some ways take a step back. And as Steve is talking about, release them to God so that God can continue to do the work in confrontation. But if you ever do talk to her again, Aaron, what you just need to say is, I cannot listen to you anymore. You're harming me. You're hurting me with the negative words about my dear friend. And I'm not sure why you're doing that. I'm not sure what your story is. And I'm not even sure the purpose that you're doing it. But it's hurting me and it's hurting others. And I just ask you to get some care, get some therapy.
There you go.
Do some deeper work.
All right. Well, let me do this. I hope you have somebody that reads to you, and so many of the folks that I know that are blind do. And I'm going to send this book, Forgiving What You'll Never Forget, by Dave Stoop, and I hope that will be helpful. Also, I'm not aware, I know some of the books have been, they're in Braille, but I just don't know if that one is. But I hope and pray that something we've said would just encourage you to take a step, not to stop something from happening as much as to prevent yourself from being caught up in it and destroying any more days because of a person that you cannot control. Really sad for you. Sorry that this has happened, and hope and pray and pray and pray that maybe a change will overcome this person. You know, when people listen to the program, our folks pray for people. We hear it all the time, and people are praying for you, Aaron, and praying for this other person that something different might happen. That's one of the advantages of calling New Life, is you get people praying for whatever situation, and then we try to give you our best too. If you want to join us on the program, 1-800-229-3000, 1-800-229-3000. We'll be back right after this.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery. And one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here, sitting next to me, the president of New Life, Becky Brown. Over there, Dr. Sheri Keffer. Intimate Deception is her book, helping lots and lots of people. And then next to her, Larry, President Emeritus of New Life. Larry, what do you have for us today? And I know it'll be better than yesterday.
Well, it was that bad, wasn't it?
No, it was good.
Well, we've got, what was I going to say? Healing is the choice. Emotional freedom coming up.
Yeah.
December the 2nd, Saturday.
3rd? No, 2nd, yeah.
Yeah, one day, online. We're making it easy for you. And here's what somebody who attended a year ago or so said. I've learned that we're not meant to isolate ourselves because God created us to be connected to Him and to others. The unhealthy strategies I've developed to avoid pain just kept me stuck. Trusting God and others builds character and brings wholeness. It's time for me to face reality instead of faking that it's all well. Mm-hmm. I believe this weekend's the first step of a journey into a new life.
That's so good. You know, I've said it before, I think everybody's treatment of choice is, God, take this away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when that doesn't happen, then our treatment of choice is, I will fake it and act like it's not there. And that doesn't work. And when you're ready to get to the real solution, we got it for you. And it's a one-day event. And you can just sign up online or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
You know, Steve, every workshop we do, as we're entering into it, I think this is the best thing we do.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then we have a different one. It's the best thing we do.
Well, you know, the truth is you see everyone when they get there, right, at the start of the workshop. And then there's such a shift in their faces and their countenance. They're lighter at the end of just whatever that workshop is. So we see change all the time, and it's change that stays, and you can get it. Don't wait for it. Reach out. We've got a lot of different opportunities for you.
And Steve,
well, I always think on the first day of that quote from Bruce Willis's movie The Sixth Sense, he says, I see dead people.
Yeah.
Well, they're dead, and then all of a sudden things start to tick, and they do transform.
So, well, folks, we need help too, financially, donations. We do what we do because you support it. And if you don't support it, we can't keep doing what we do. But we feel like your support is evidence that God's hand is on the ministry, as much as is the evidence that people's lives are being changed and the Holy Spirit is really doing a work. So thank you for giving. If you haven't given, thank you in advance, because I think you will. And just God bless you all. We appreciate what you do.
And if they want to be a part of Club New Life, that's a way that they can give on a regular basis. And I think Club New Life is like the bread and butter that actually just keeps the lights on here. It keeps
So
us
true.
going. And so if you haven't become a part of the New Life Club, we'd love to have you. Give us a call, and we'll tell you how you can become a member
Thank you
of
for
our
that.
club, New Life.
Yeah. And when you become a member here on our 35th birthday, we send you this library of 100 days of prayer, character, just different subjects that are so
Freedom
important
from
to people.
anxiety and
Yeah.
fear, freedom from anger, freedom
Yeah.
from shame. I'm looking at it right now. It's beautiful. It's multicolored. It's a library. It's gorgeous.
Library of hope and truth.
Yep.
Thank you, Larry.
Alrighty.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you can help us, please give us a call, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. All right, let's go to Megan, Denver, Colorado. KRKS is that station there. Megan, how are you?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. How could we help?
I was calling because I am a youth leader at a church, and I expressed interest after an older sister kind of encouraged me to. I expressed interest in the youth pastor, and that was about 6 months ago. He expressed to me that he was not interested in a relationship. He had just got out of a relationship not long ago, but he wanted to stay friends. He said maybe we can continue to eat lunch or cook for each other. And, you know, pretty much he just needed to work on his relationship with God, which is why he said he wasn't interested in a relationship. So here we are 6 months later, and it's been quite awkward. And it's taken a toll on me because things are weird with him being a pastor and I'm a leader, and then also a friend, and he knows I'm interested, but he didn't really turn me. I mean, he turned me down, but not really. So
Yeah.
things they can be offensive. I feel like I take things he say too seriously, and I'm just not sure what to do about this situation. I love youth. I love working with the youth that are there, but it's really hard with the pastor that has not tried to pursue me.
Yeah.
And then there's like other sisters around that, you know, he's very close with. And I'm not sure what to do in this situation. But
Okay.
it's starting to just become discouraging.
I think by the time this call's over, you're going to have a path that's going to be so helpful, and Becky and Sheri are going to give you that path because, you know, this is sad.
Well, and what I'm sad for, Megan, is because the longer this goes on for you, your self-esteem takes a dive.
Yeah.
Because everything is about his approval or not. And what I want you to do is step into who Megan is and the strengths and the gifts that you have, not waiting for his, okay, we're going to move ahead, but really step into who you are. I wonder, do you have some girlfriends that are around you, and what have they said to you?
I told one of them, and she's a previous pastor, and she just told me to forget him, to move forward and not look back.
Right.
But I just see him every week. So, but I really don't talk to others about him. I don't want people to know because I feel like it would make me uncomfortable.
But what's happening, Megan, in that secrecy, it is growing. It is bigger and bigger. And the fact that you had a girlfriend who said, forget about him, and you didn't take that into consideration, now you feel like you can't tell anybody else. And actually, that's what you need. You need to get it, you need to kind of let the light in so that it doesn't have a hold on you. And then you can make a decision based on you being you, not hiding somewhere in case he wants to make a decision for you. And that's just high level, but...
Sheri, your thoughts here.
Well, I'm sitting here smiling, Megan, in pain. I have pain for you, and I'm smiling at the same time because you're making me remember Mark. Mark was a man that I was, like you, serving in ministry with, and he was in a position of leadership. And you know what I started doing? I was very attracted to him. And I started dropping hankies all over the place. Have you ever heard that phrase, dropping hankies? Do you know what that means?
No.
It means you're sending messages to him that you're very attracted to him. Now, I thought the more messages I sent or the more hankies I dropped, that somehow eventually there would be enough messages and hankies and wink winks that he would choose me. But you know what that did to him? It was very off-putting because he felt smothered by my pursuit. And I became jealous of other women that he seemed more relaxed with. But it was like I was out to conquer this man. I just got to be honest with you, Megan. And I think what happened is I had unrealistic expectations. I was in fantasy over this gentleman that I had a high level of respect for. But I had it backwards, girl. He wasn't pursuing me. Men like to pursue, and I just got that backwards because I was so enamored with him, and I overwhelmed him. So my question to you is, what about you has unrealistic expectations and a fantasy about a relationship with this man when he's not pursuing you? What is that about you?
I think because, I've been divorced for so long, and I do have a daughter.
Okay.
And I'm trying to wait because I've been in relationships before, but it seems like this would be the right relationship for me at this point in my life. So I guess I don't know.
Okay.
Well,
I have no idea.
Well, I feel you. I was 15 years single when I met Mark, and I think it was desperation. But your desperation does not a relationship make. There's two people, girl, and I think you're pushing him away.
Yes. I have a couple of things to say after this about this situation as a man, and we'll do that after this. 1-800-229-3000.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are. Chris Williams on coaching.
Oftentimes I get asked, what is the difference between therapy and coaching? The biggest difference between the two is that a therapist is going to be looking for a diagnosable mental health condition, whereas a coach is going to look at a particular issue and help a person work through that.
If you need a coach, call New Life today and ask about the New Life Coaching Network. Our coaches have been trained and screened with the same intensive process we use for our network counselors.
If you're looking at an issue in your life that you just kind of want to change, whether it be your weight or leadership or other areas of behavioral patterns, check out coaching. There can be some really, really helpful things for you.
Take control of your life and take action to achieve your goals. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 and talk to us about getting a New Life coach. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. And Megan, are you still there?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm here.
So I use alliteration and rhyming to make a point. Forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
But Megan, no more begging, okay? So you are a bright, committed person, and you don't need to be begging some man to pay attention to you. First of all, he is not a pursuer. I don't know why that is, but a lot of times a person who isn't a pursuer is a user. And I think he is using you for company and doesn't have to make a commitment, and you bought into it. So, hey, I can benefit from whenever I'm lonely, I can call. Whenever I want to be with someone, I can call. And I already told her I'm not interested, and she's still here. So he's losing. He's a loser because he's losing the opportunity to connect for whatever reason. So from pursuer, user, loser, you have to be the refuser to do this anymore. Now, here's something that you may not be aware of. There are other churches where you could serve. And to save your emotional, spiritual being, maybe you need to move on. Maybe that's it. Well, why wouldn't you do that? Well, it's really hard after you've invested all of this in this man. Has he done well with the investment? No. Hadn't done a thing with it. So you are a valuable, loved servant of God. You can stay there and take some crumbs from somebody that's treating you in, I think, a crummy way, or you can move on to where you would be appreciated. You know, when people don't pay attention to us, guess what happens? We either move on or we become obsessed. What could I do to make that work? And the obsession takes us away from our being possessed by God. So every rhyme I can throw at you, I'm trying to get something to latch on there. I want you to be able to be free of a person that is showing you, I am not interested in being in a romantic, healthy relationship with you.
And let me just say, I know we've all said something about this, but Megan, I'm fighting for you because he said no. You have to accept that because there's something better for you.
Yeah.
And if you can just land on that, that'll help you through these days where you think, yeah, but he would be so perfect. You just said that in one of the comments that you said. You don't know that because he's already said no. So I want to just encourage you, be the best person that God has created you to be.
Yes. So I'll send you this wonderful book that we use in our marriage conferences. Helps you understand stuff about you that maybe you wouldn't, but it will help. And that's How We Love. And I'll send that right out to you. Really sorry that this has happened, and hope and pray. You know, just we had some kind of influence here that will get her to the place where, you know, I really think God wants her to be. Now, I don't have a lot of time. I'm going to go to one more call. And if you are on the line, and we have a board full of calls, hang on. Take care of you in this next program we'll do right after this. But real quick, see if we can go and talk with Walt over here. And Walt, how you doing? And how could we help you? Don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to get to your call.
I'm doing all right, Steve. Thank you. I'll try to be brief.
Okay.
I've just got some brief background and a quick question. And August of 2020, I had a triple bypass, and it took me a while to recover from it. Even though we were divorced, my former wife took me into her home, and she took care of me. And she wanted us to stay together. Well, the little rent house she was living in wasn't large enough for her and my daughter and grandkids, and my daughter was divorced at the time, too. So we moved to another rental unit in southern Oklahoma, which looked like it was built about the turn of the century.
What happened?
It was creepy looking. Well, my daughter sent me a text one day saying, Dad, I see a black shadow. I know it's a demon. I need you to anoint the house with oil and pray over it. And so I did. And then a while after that, I went and sat on her bed with her one day, and I said, Sarah, you've prayed the sinner's prayer, right? She said, yeah, I prayed it a bunch. I wanted to be sure. But Sarah had mental issues. She was a lesbian married to another woman. She was on all kinds of medications. Well, some medications for her mental issues, plus she was smoking about a bowl of pot a day.
Okay.
I have no doubt she was a believer, but the fact she thought she saw a demon is really bothering me. I mean,
okay.
And yeah, I spent over 3 years. There's not a day goes by that I don't think of her and miss her and call her name. And
yeah.
And I just, how do I move on? What can a Christian see a demon? I think they can, but because I've seen black shadows from time to time that I can't tell what they were either. But
okay.
So
anyway, that's.
I have
Sheri, go ahead.
I have a thought. I want to answer this two ways with you. Yes, a Christian can see a demonic presence, but you know what I think was going on based on what you told me? She was smoking marijuana like a bowl a day. I think what was happening is she was having a marijuana-induced psychosis.
There you go.
Sometimes when people are using drugs, and they're using drugs like marijuana and others, they actually go into a psychosis, and they can see things like demons or shadows or other people. And so we get very confused, and I just want to give you an alternative, because you prayed over the house, and I'm not saying that something couldn't come back, but just think there could be a different path, and that's what I want to share with you. Walt, I hope that even an alternative might bring you some peace to what might have been going on at that moment.
Yeah, and Walt, you're missing her, so it's getting connected with this memory.
Uh-huh.
And so I would encourage you to do some grief work so that this the end of her life isn't associated with this thought process, that you can celebrate the love that you had for her in a better way, and not be concerned about the things, it's one of those things that we don't know where she is, but we can trust that if she gave her heart to God, she's enjoying his presence now, even with all of her failures in her life.
Yeah. And Becky, I want to add one thing to that. I think a daddy's heart, having her said that right before she died, or right around the time, that can be, you can couple that. It's called trauma coupling, where you might think, Walt, that there was a demon, and then she ended up, not being with Jesus. She prayed the sinner prayer. So I just rest in the fact that she chose Jesus. She was doing drugs, sadly, and all that stuff can get so commingled, but you can trust that Jesus sees through that. Trust that she knows him. She's in peace, and she's a lot more at peace than she was in that moment, doing the drugs and being in such heartache.
Yeah. If you look at the world, it's a mess, and people are messy, and we mess with each other, and in addition to that, there is evil. And I wish it was not a mystery. I wish it was black and white how it worked, but it's there. It's subtle sometimes. And we can get so caught up in it that we miss the fact that God is a God of mercy and grace, loves us, and wants us to be free of things that are mysteries that we'll never solve. And we can just say, I'm going to ask God when I get to heaven, I'll figure that out. In the meantime, I'm not going to let this trip me up. And I do think the worse the trauma, the more difficult the grieving process, and the more needed that it is. And it'd be great if you could get in with a professional to help you with that. I'll send you the Life Recovery Bible and the Grief Workbook. I hope that'll be helpful.
Steve.
Very sad stuff here. If you want to join us on the next program, 1-800-229-3000.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.